Okay, we're really doing it. Today's video has me feeling scared, excited. There's a lot of anticipation. Basically, I'm gonna be reading sad books for a week, and I did some research and tried to find the saddest ones. And I think I did a good job. From what I'm hearing, these are some of like the saddest books. Like all that anybody has to say about them are how sad they are. Which it's like, is that good or is that bad? Because honestly, I'm scared for myself. I'm just hoping I can do it, you know? There's nothing I love more than when I cry while reading a book, because it just means that it was so good. Like I really felt it, you know? It's the best. But is this going to put me in a really bad headspace? I don't know. This is my boyfriend's dog, Bo. Come here, Bo. Come on, Bo. Oh, he's a Shar-Pei pug and he's so wrinkly and cute. I'll have Bo for some moral support. Anyways, enough with the talking. I'm just gonna do it. The first book that I'm gonna read is If He Had Been With Me. I actually started this a couple days ago. I'm on page 152, but I'm not halfway yet. There's a little over 400 pages. I'm liking it so far. Every time I look at the cover, I get a sweet tooth. Also, this cover, like this matteness, just like picks up all the oils that are all over my hands, which is awesome. I got my coffee, got my book. Yeah, let's go read. Book update, I am loving it so far. I have about 100 pages left. I feel like I can kind of tell where it's going, but I'm really enjoying it. I really like the nostalgic high school vibes from it. It's putting me in my feels a bit for sure. She's also, the main character is just like super angsty, and she just like says these really deep thoughts and like these quotable things. And so I've actually been like dog-earing some of my favorite pages. Really liking this so far. I am starving, so I'm gonna make some dinner right now. My HelloFresh just got delivered and I'm so excited. And thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. I'm so excited about the 3 meals that I picked out for this week. Fall is right around the corner and HelloFresh is here to help you prep for the busy season with all their delicious dishes delivered right to your door. You just choose your recipes and pick your delivery date. Our lives get so busy and we got places to be. And this fall, standing in the checkout line is not one of them. Leave all the meal planning and grocery shopping to HelloFresh. That's probably my favorite part about HelloFresh. With their pre-portioned ingredients and easy step-by-step recipes that are delivered right to your doorstep, all you need is 15 minutes and you'll be enjoying a nice, tasty, satisfying homemade meal made right in your own kitchen. Just look for their quick and easy dinner options, plus quick breakfast and lunches too. When life gets busy, don't order delivery, order HelloFresh. It's 25% cheaper than takeout and it's less expensive than grocery shopping. Just choose your recipes and receive fresh, pre-portioned ingredients so that you can get cooking quick. You can head to HelloFresh.com and use code 50brookditis at checkout for 50% off and free shipping. That's 50% off and free shipping with my code 50brookditis when you go to HelloFresh.com. Everything will be linked down in the description box for you guys. Thank you, HelloFresh. I just went to Starbucks. I love chai tea lattes, hot, iced. I usually get them with vanilla, but I was just watching someone's video and this is what they ordered. Iced chai tea latte with brown sugar syrup. So I'm gonna try it. They said it tastes just like fall. Oh, that's so good. Wow. Oh my god, that's so good. I was just thinking too, I'm like, will the brown sugar syrup really have that much of a difference in like the flavor? Because it's not like it's a ton being added, but oh my god, it really does taste like fall. I need to resist like sucking this down, but it's so good. Anyways, I finished the book, If He Had Been With Me, but I loved it. I thought it was so good. I actually was torn between a 4 and a 5 star because as much as I loved it, it wasn't anything super crazy to me. Like, while it was like a little bit predictable, but you know, it's a YA, young adult book though, so I feel like those tend to be a little bit more predictable sometimes. I really liked it. Definitely a good read. I really love the whole dynamic between the two main characters and how you can just feel like their pull to each other throughout the whole book and like that special bond that they have. I also felt like it really depicted high school and the friendships and like friend groups or cliques that you're in high school, and how everybody's very somewhat like stuck in those cliques and you really hang out with those people, and for the most part that's it. And like there's specific groups that, like, you know, they don't mesh at all, and it would be very weird if all of a sudden they like started meshing. That whole dynamic in high school is very interesting and very stereotypical, and I don't think it's as rigid as it is like in the movies and stuff, but there is still a little bit of that dynamic in high school, and I felt like the author really depicted it well. I did give this 5 stars. I really liked it. Highly recommend. The ending was so sad and just crazy, but since I kind of had already like predicted it, I didn't shed any tears, so no tears have been shed yet. Next up, I'm gonna read Everything I Never Told You by Celeste NG. This was a book that I saw on TikTok being said that it was like a really sad one. This is a book that I saw online because I did a lot of research for this video, and I was like looking up stuff on TikTok, on Google, and this was one that I found from Google, and it's called Everything I Never Told You by Celeste NG. So this is the next book. Also, this one was a TikTok, Google, I've literally seen it everywhere. I've even just heard word of mouth about this book and how crazy it is. It's so thick. I have 3 more books to read in this video, including these 2. I was between these 2 for my next one, but I think I'm gonna go with this one because this one is scaring me. So I'm gonna put it off as long as I can. Everybody just talks about it as if it's like the worst thing in the world, and I'm like, do I want to read this? Like, do I? But I'm so curious, I have to. I don't know, I'm excited to read this. I really have no idea what this book is about. I think I'm just gonna go read it for a little bit and then check back in with you guys and kind of give you a little synopsis of what it's about so far, what my thoughts are, because I was so busy the past couple days I didn't really give you dates or anything while I was reading this. So I'm gonna go home and read this for a little bit, drink my delicious chai, and we'll check back in. I'm about halfway through the book now, and I really like it so far. I'm enjoying it a lot more than the previous book, and you know, it just like hits the feels. Like, it's just such a real story, and oh, it's so good so far. There's a lot of like family dysfunction going on. I'm like exactly halfway. I can't put it down. I'm gonna continue reading, and I honestly feel like I'm gonna finish this today. It's pouring. It's the perfect day to curl up and read a book in one sitting. So that's what I'm gonna do. Look at my new sunglasses. They're humongous. They come out so far from my head. And I kind of feel like a movie star. I like them, and I also hate them. I don't know how I feel about them, but I do know how I feel about this book. I finished it last night. I just went and grabbed a coffee. Whew, God, this book, I feel like I'm like gonna cry already, and I haven't even started talking about it. This book has really put me in a sad headspace. Which, you know, we knew. Like, I knew this was gonna happen. I said it in the beginning of the video. Like, I don't know if this, you know, is gonna put me in a bad headspace. I'm just, like, so sad from this book. Like, it's one of those books that now I just, like, kind of want to just sit here and think about it. It was so real. I said earlier, it's about family dysfunction. There's just a ton of family dysfunction, and it kind of goes back and forth between present, goes all the way back from when like the parents meet to, you know, when they have children, when the children are young, to when the children are older, like teenagers. And you really get a look into each parent, each child's thoughts, and why they're acting the way they're acting, why they're like what they're thinking, why they're thinking that way, why they then act this way, when they wanted to act this way, whatever. You get a really deep look into each character, and you just feel like you know them so deeply. And with this family dysfunction, you kind of just see how it all weaves together, and it's so heartbreaking but beautiful when you like know how each person is like truly feeling, and it just depicts life in such a real, raw way. One of my favorite quotes is from The Four Agreements. I read this book back, I believe I was like maybe a freshman in high school, and I read The Four Agreements, and my favorite principle, and still like my favorite quote to this day, it has never changed, is never take anything personally. I'm gonna butcher the actual quote though. Let me make sure I'm saying it correctly. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. And it reminds me a lot of, like, this book really reminded me of that quote, because just that projection aspect, you see how each character is projecting their own reality, their own inner dialogue, their inner child, like whatever's going on. You see why they're acting the way they're acting, how they're projecting their own feelings, their own thoughts, their own reality, their own dream onto each other in the family in different ways in their life. And it's just so good and heartbreaking and beautiful. And if you can't already tell, I am rating this a 5-star. You definitely should go read it, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts. I didn't expect to love this one as much as I did. I almost didn't read this book for this challenge. I almost picked a different one. It was so good. Next up is A Little Life. This is a really thick book. I think it has like 800 pages. I'm terrified to read this, honestly, because everybody says it's like really heavy, that you should read the trigger warnings before, so I did do that. I've just been putting it off. I'm nervous. First of all, it's huge, and it's just like a huge book to be reading like such a sad book for so long, so I don't know. We'll see how it is. I have no idea what it's about. It says, a little life follows 4 college classmates, broke, adrift, and buoyed only by their friendship and ambition, as they move to New York in search of fame and fortune. While their relationships, which are tinged by addiction, success, and pride, deepen over the decades, the men are held together by their devotion to the brilliant, enigmatic Jude, a man scarred by an unspeakable childhood trauma. A hymn to brotherly bonds and a masterful depiction of love in the 21st century. Hanya Yanagihara's stunning novel is about the families we are born into and those that we make for ourselves. Sounds interesting. We'll see. I'm going to try to crank out like the first 100 pages right now, and then I'll check back in with you. Let's get started. I'm scared. Book update. I'm on page 179, and whew, first and foremost, it looks like I've barely made a dent into this giant book. This is by far like the longest book I've ever read. It's a huge book, and it's a really heavy book. Honestly, this whole time there's just been so many different like heavy topics and like heartbreaking things that happen, like just tough topics, honestly, like very sad, and that's why I think I am reading at a slower pace. I've also been like tabbing some pages, just like some deep quotes that have been like resonating with me. I never do this, so I'm really enjoying it. This book is honestly like beautifully written so far, and although the topics are heavy, I'm really enjoying this book, like the way that it's written. I just can't believe I have like 600, 700 more pages of this kind of heaviness, and it probably just gets worse and worse. Just recently, so I'm on page 179, like I said, and just recently you kind of go into depth a little bit more for the first time into one of the men's childhoods, and ooh, that's tough. And we haven't even gotten like the actual story or details yet of like the worst that has happened from that period of time in his childhood, but what's already happened in his childhood is so terrible that I'm like, oh my god, it's just a lot. I wanted to update you. I'm gonna get back to it. It is so early in the morning right now, but I've finished A Little Life and my other 2 books, and that's gonna be all the sad books that I read consecutively. This book took me about 2 weeks to read. It was 800 pages. I looked on Audible. I ended up listening to it on like 2 times the speed the last few days because it was just taking me so long, and this book is so heavy and hard to read. read because it's so heavy and at times really disturbing and sad. I think it was like 30 hours on Audible. Like, it is so long, but I did really enjoy the way that it was written. It was beautifully written, but at the same time, I don't feel like I can rate this 5 stars because it was so like difficult for me to read that like I have a hard time even wanting to like recommend it to people. Like, I don't want to recommend it to people because it's just such a hard read. It's about this man's life, and he has just had an extremely traumatic and sad childhood and things that happen just throughout the entire course of his life. And basically the way that this book is written is it goes between the past and the present, and you get to see this man's entire life from basically start to finish. You learn everything about him and what he's gone through, and it was tough. Like, I don't really have much to say about it, honestly, just that it was a really hard read, and at times I found myself wishing I could like put it down for a few weeks and pick it back up. So maybe that's a way to read this book, is to kind of know you're gonna like read it, put it down even if you need to for like days, weeks, months. I think that would be a better way to get through this book, because trying to read it as fast as I possibly could and just consume it all in such a short period of time was overwhelming because of how heavy the content is. So I'm gonna rate this a 4.5 star just because I had such a hard time finishing it. I wanted to finish it. I knew I was going to, but I did wish I could have like set it down and picked it back up periodically. Maybe that would have made it a 5 star. They're not lying when they say that this is, I don't even know the words. Be careful if you're gonna read this book, is all I gotta say. And then obviously you guys saw me earlier reading the other 2 books. I rated them both 5 stars. I really enjoyed them. But that's all for my reading sad books for a week. This was a lot. I think if I didn't read this one, this video would be ending off on a different note, but oh my god, what a way to end off the video. I will link all these books down in the description box for you guys. If you guys have ever read any of these, DM me on Instagram and let's chat about them. And then my camera died, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my next one. Make sure to check out HelloFresh. I'll link everything down in the description box for you guys. They've seriously changed my life. I am so excited every time my HelloFresh gets delivered. I get to learn how to make so many new meals, and it really just takes the hard work out of cooking, and it makes it something that I look forward to. So definitely go check it out. It's one of my favorite things right now. Let me know if there's any other books like these that you think I should read in the comments. If you made it to the end of this video, comment this emoji. I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.